Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, hopefully there won't be too much glare from this. I've got the camera light going on, but we've got another tray of my favorite Rough Riders, and I'm going to try to go through this whole tray quickly, as quickly as I can, but not super fast. But anyway, it's like part 2 of where we left off. And what's good about this tray, I forgot to mention it, this is a surplus, military surplus, I think it's French military, and this thing's heavy gauge. But what's good about it is it breaks it down into kind of compartments, like the small knives, like 5th pocket knives. If it won't fit in this compartment, it's not going to fit in your 5th pocket, you know, so you can kind of categorize them. These are like medium knives, you know. And then you've got longer knives, and then you got like the average size knives like trappers and stuff like that, and then the kind of like oversized knives. So it's a pretty good little thing to help organize it. But anyways, without further ado, this guy is not in my favorite one. I'm just putting it in there as a comparison. So it's really it's this knife opening tool. What I like about this one is you have the amber bone and everything. Let me see if I can get this thing to zoom. See, I can't even see the camera from where I'm at, so I don't know if it's focusing or what it's doing. Anything. But it's nice little amber bone. What I did is I drilled this part in here to add a loop. And what I like about this one over the other one is this one makes a perfect pry tool, and it's small enough to be used like a screwdriver. So I know common screwdrivers are not used as much, but for some things, you know, like prying off lids of stuff, you don't want to use even a knife tip. Sometimes, you know, like a top of a bottle. Let's say you're doing like this. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't watch out, you know, some people do it like this and they pop something open and look what happens, you know. If it's a dull instrument, you're safe, you know, so kind of GI proof. But that's what I like this one over this one. What I don't like about the new one is, yeah, it's nice. This one's in D2, you know, which this is stainless steel. So, you know, as a tool, this is not going to rust like this one can, and it has a little bit right here on it. You know, it's a dedicated pry tool, so you got like micarta, you know, it's kind of fancy. They already thought about that keyhole thing, so they drilled one in there for you. And here's where I think they messed up. It might work good on what it's designed for, you know, but what I like is multifunction tools. You know, one tool that is not so much completely specifically designed to fit into that niche, because what you've got is like a chisel grind. It's no longer good as a common screwdriver, you know. It's more like a pry tool. And this other one is the same way. It's nice and round. It's specific for its, you know, no fault on it for being what it was designed to do, you know. But like I said, I like them to be multi-purpose. And I don't find these all super useful. Maybe it's just not, I don't know how to use them. It could very well be, but when you're trying to get down there and like that with them, I don't know, you're supposed to put them on. I basically don't use them as what they're supposed to be used for. So if you're not using it for the main reason, then why even carry it around? You're going to use it for the secondary reason. And this one, like I said, I got both options. You know, I got a screwdriver. All right, so we've done that. We got through one. Let's see how much time I've wasted. 4 minutes, jeez. I shouldn't have filled it up with knives. All right, we're going to pull this one off because it's been... Nah, we'll leave it in there. I'll pull them off in the end. All right, lady leg. Here's a pattern that I normally don't like. Don't go after or anything else. And the only reason why I got this one was it's Moon Glow, to try to fill the Moon Glow collection, which I haven't completed yet. But what I found out from this is another thing. If you have like a personal internal bias against a certain pattern or type, only because of its looks or whatever. And if you've never held one and you've never picked one up before, you might be surprised that this is a pretty useful, even though it's, it turns out to be pretty ergonomic. Now, yeah, this one I don't think will open a bottle cap, which some people are trying to say that was the main reason for. Maybe other design, but on the Rough Ryder ones, at least, it's not going to open up a bottle cap. But that was my big surprise on this. Yeah, I'm still not a big fan of them, I mean, you only got one leg. So you like amputees? I don't know. It's only the calf, I'd like it to go up a little bit higher if I'm going to have female anatomy. But, anywho, like I said, I'm not a big fan of lady legs, but what surprised me was the ergonomics of it. All right, get out a little tray. Peanuts. Now, this is something that usually my father or grandfather usually always had on him, was a peanut knife. And I always thought, being a kid, when I was a kid, well, what's the use of a little dainty knife when you carry a huge monster, Why carry that around and everything? Two tiny little blades. WTF. Back then we couldn't have said that. Even in acronyms we couldn't have said WTF without getting smacked or punished. But they had their purpose. A lot of times, have to remember back to when things were going on. Pencils, were useful a lot of times, either as a carpenter or for writing stuff down. You needed to, pencils still work as long as you could get past the wood. And what's good at carving wood is just a little blade, You whittle it down and boom, you're done, Or a minor little task. And then if you got a little bit bigger, even though it's a tiny little knife, look at that, man. I can put 4 fingers on that. Admittedly, I got small hands, but still, I got all 4 fingers on there. And yeah, you got, you don't have a huge amount of blade, 2 inches or so. But again, don't discount what you can do with little knives. It can do a lot of stuff if you let it. Now, sometimes you're pushing it, like you're taking a little tiny knife when you really need a bigger knife, but I'm just saying. That's what I like about the peanut pattern, and that particular one is this Blue Ocean one, or whatever they call it. It's one of the ones, the older pattern that I got, that I just like it. It's pretty, shiny, pretty shiny. Shiny and pretty. Alright, this is a lot like a folding hunter, but this is that Backwood Bushcraft series. I really love that series. Because look how this one's patinaed. And when it patinas like that, for some reason, that R in there doesn't stand out as much, and it looks actually pretty good there, like that, kind of offsetting it with the different colors. But they really did a good job on the Backwoods Bushcraft, the whole series. I really like it. The difference between this and the folding hunter is it's basically got the same kind of blade, but you've got it's a liner lock. And it's not like the normal liner locks where you're looking at how much travel. This one can go all the way over and lock, and your knife's not going to be useless. It's not one of those wear out things like on a flipper where if the lockup is 100% and you've just got it, well, it better be super steel, because if there's any gap that allows the rest of that liner lock to go over there, then you're going to wind up having a useless knife if the blade can fold on you. This one's all the way over and the blade's not going to fold on you. But you get a nice big knife, and then now you don't have to worry about the blade folding on you. If you're worried about that, you can stab away, if that was what you wanted to do. Alright, here, this is the Coke bottle series pattern. They're usually only like $10 when they had them available, which is way inexpensive considering what you get. Another nice saber grind. It's got kind of a Copperhead type effect there, that you can get up here and choke up on. The Coke bottle swell helps within the hand. It is on the thin side, but that works pretty well if you're trying to carry it in a back pocket or something like that, and you don't want to, a lot of width. You still have width this way, you just don't have it this way. But yeah, a nice big knife. This one I like because it's in the Tortoise Shell pattern. And see, that's what things are. If you could just like one color, like if you could just stick with just the yellow ones, you can get a lot of different patterns in yellow knives. So since we're going this way, let's go to one of my favorite things. This is something again where, my bias was I don't like trappers. Why? Well, it's because there's so many of them. There's always stuff they just offer in the trapper pattern and nothing else. It's like, all right, this is it. This is all you get. It's a nice pattern, but we only offer it in trapper pattern. And my bias was not so, kind of, that was part of my bias, but also was the blade choices. Now when they came out with this Warncliffe one, and it's in carbon, bam, you got winner, winner, chicken dinner, because you can patina carbon. Some people poo-poo carbon, you're like, it's maintenance, I gotta take care of it and everything. Okay, I too like stainless steel, that it ease of maintenance, especially in like you're cutting apples or you're cutting something and you throw all your dishes or whatever in there. I did this with that Mora. I threw it there, I forgot it was carbon because it was, original, still had that shiny on it. And about, a day or two later, I come in there and I see it's just been sitting in the water and everything, and I pull it out and man, it looks like something's been out in the forest for like a decade. You're like, geez, what the hell? But it turned out to be pretty good patina. And that's just basically rust. It didn't get to where it was eating down into the metal, super bad, but it was starting to eat down into the metal. So yeah, but this one here, I really love the length of it, the length of the handle. I've got plenty of room for my hand to fit in there. I've got a nice long, stabby Warncliffe. It's got half stops in it. They're nice, solid. Got a good walk and talk to it. Pull's not super strong, but not super weak. And spade blade. Love it. And it's a yellow knife. Already win-win. So there, we covered yellow knife and trapper pattern. Alright, this is Copperhead. Copperhead's another cool little knife. Now, sometimes when you go with a knife like a Stockman or whatever, it's going to be shorter blades. You're going to have one long blade and then shorter blades. Shorter blades. It's going to be you're going to have more blades, but they're going to be shorter. Well, with a Copperhead, they're like equal length, but they're coming out of one end. Sometimes they're, single blade Copperheads. Like I said, there are exceptions to everything. I don't think I have a single bladed Copperhead. But you got this nice, upswept, almost straight drop, There's a little bit of a drop to it, but it's almost a straight one. So it has this nice, generous, like curving up pattern, that you got there. And then you've got this other one, this nice clip blade. Decent amount of belly to it and everything. Not overly large, fits the hand well. Just a nice, generalized knife. And this one's in white bone, so it has all kinds of potential. You could dye it if you want. Usually what I'm trying to do now with white bone, let me see how rambly I'm getting. Oh my God, 13 minutes. We've got all this to go through. Again, I guess we're going to have to pull those off, and we're never going to get through this tray. It's a plate of plenty. Anyway, we will get through it. White bone, like I said, it's got potential, but if you're going to dye them, try to get another one, because you can't always just think, this is pretty easy. They got plenty of these. Then all of a sudden they're out of stock, and everybody else is out of stock. And you find them on eBay, but you're like, man, I don't want to pay double the price just to dye it a different color. Sometimes that wins out, though. You're like, all right, even though I can only find it on Thieve Bay, I'm going to go ahead and get it and bite the bullet. All right. So next is this particular series I like, which is the Outdoorsman, because it has that little acorn head on it. And like Jersey said, you got to look pretty hard, but there's an RR in there. I found that out from doing a trace on a knife a while back. I was drawing, knives and stuff, and I was trying to get this pattern just right. And I traced it, like you put a piece of paper over there and you take a pencil and you go like that. And that's when the RR came out. And I went, oh, wow, there's an RR there. But this is a sow belly Stockman. I think a Stockman is like one of the best overall kind of knives, because what it gives you, instead of having to carry 3 different knives, you get to carry 3 different blades all in one shape. And the shape is ergonomic. I mean, it blends with your hand and everything. And it doesn't go too drastic, so it's putting it too far point down. But it's a nice, like, ergonomically sort of neutral position. Because a straight tube is going to, eventually push down here. But if you curve it to go with the human hand, and then because you got blades coming out each end and it's curved, it works. This end is going to have a more pronounced curve. But you've got a nice clip blade. And then you've got a sheep's foot, which comes in really handy. Sheep's foot. A lot of sheep running around, and they need feet. And then a spay blade. Oh, we don't want too many sheep running around, so some of them, vital parts might get lobbed off. Reproductive parts. But that's not all you can use this for. You can use it for more than just spaying sheep or cattle or any other animal. Yeah, good combination of tools, good pattern. I like that. All right, here's one that's kind of covers two patterns at once. So I'm gonna have 15 minutes. Jeez, I'm gonna try to get through this part. We'll save all that up there for the next one. This is a muskrat pattern, but what I like about that, instead of two identical blades, it is also the carnivore jack, which has the serrated edges over here, and they're nice and useful and sharp serrations. You got a little straight tip up on the end that, if you had to, you wanted that. But I mean, you got another straight blade right over here, straight edge blade, all you want. Nice dark bone over here. This one turned out more like green on this side, but it's cool. It's different. And it comes in a little pouch, a little clip-on slip with a clip, slip clip. I don't have it with me right now, but I mean, it holds that pretty well. So it can be in your pocket, and it makes a great steak knife. All right. Rough Ryder's version of a TL29. All right. So this one's in the coal miner series, but it's not pebbled or jigged like the other one. It's smooth. And another one that they've got has got markings on it, on the back, inches and stuff. This one doesn't. And like any TL29, you've got that blade, and then you've got the multi-tool type of one that does, this one locks up. This edge sharp, then up here not sharp, and then you've got like a pry bar, screwdriver, or whatever you want to use it for tip. Half stop, bail, be prepared for whatever. And it's pretty decent, like I said, smooth. In and out of the pocket. Alright, last one. Camp knife. I got a lot of camp knives, but we're just talking Rough Ryder. This is my favorite one. We already know why, but we'll go over that later, if we ever get to that again. But this I like because it's got the old school kind of can opener, which is kind of funky. I don't like using this can opener as much as a regular one, but it's cool just to, just because it's nostalgic, because a lot of them go with the other can opener. Everything, it's got the same regular stuff, screwdriver, bottle cap lifter, nice spear blade here, and then an awl over here. Are you going to show us all the tools? Yes, I'm going to show you all the tools. Different kind of one, kind of a speary blade, awl on it, and then a bail. Time to bail out, right? So yeah, I like this one. And like Tobias said, if you like this pattern and this type of knives and everything, because the other ones are a little bit bigger and everything, you're not going to get them on the new ones. You're going to have to go for the old ones. And so this is an older Rough Ryder. So there you go. What have I gone to? 19 minutes. Jeez. All right, we got this far. Man, and it took me 20 minutes of running my mouth. All right, yeah, I guess there's going to be a part 3. So anyways, thank you for sticking around for this and looking at all of them. It's not an endless, like I said, one. Eventually we'll get to the end of this, because they're just going to be Rough Ryders, and they got to fit in this tray, and they got to be my favorites of a particular pattern. So already we've eliminated multiple camp knives and multiple TL29s and stuff like that. So Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.